everyone, welcome back to Eye to Eye. You know, when it comes to covering the news, you might think it'd be a lot easier to just make it up. But at The Onion, fabricating headlines is serious business. And turning fake into funny, well, it's a lot tougher than you might expect.
The truth is, it's really hard.
Yeah, it's not only is it hard, but it's really not very glamorous at all. It's a lot of like bone-grinding hard work and long hours, and a lot of like hurt feelings and, you know, bruised egos, personality conflicts, because there's always arguments about, you know, what's funny and what's not funny. There's not a lot of emotion or even fun involved a lot of the times. Occasionally we do have fun, which is great. You try to savor those moments, because most of it is pretty intellectual, a lot of thinking and analyzing.
The Onion started in Madison,
right,
and moved to New York. What was it like back in the day?
I mean, it was different than now. We certainly didn't have all this space and all these people. It was kind of out of somebody's dorm room for the first couple of months, and then it was in somebody's house. And I don't think we had an office until year 2. And I don't think we got paid until year 3. But it was a labor of love and, you know, gathering together people that we thought were funny. It was always a function of what's the format. And we always distributed on newsprint, so that informed the content, and it became a newspaper parody. Because it would get distributed in bundles on the street, and so the context of that was, okay, what is going to be amusing to somebody if they see it on the street in a newspaper stand? And that's different than a humor magazine or a humor TV show or anything else. The medium is definitely part of the message with The Onion.
And is everything in the paper fake?
Yeah, it's funny, like a lot of people compare us to The Daily Show and Colbert and so forth. We really do something really very different. They comment on the real news, and we just make up all our news.
Do you ever find people take it seriously and think, my goodness, what are they talking about?
Sure. In the early days, there were a lot of people who took it seriously because they didn't know it. They had never heard of it, so they didn't know it was a comedy publication. And so we actually got a lot of angry phone calls from lawyers, you know, saying, you can't say this, it's not true. So once we got more known, people knew who we were, we got far fewer complaints about the humor, because people actually were happy that they were part of the comedy zeitgeist. If they were being made fun of, they arrived in a certain way, and we still hear that. If we make fun of a certain person or a certain company or whatever, we'll often get a letter, or, you know, it'll be in a playful spirit, like they're happy to have been picked on. And in some ways that worries me. Like, I don't want to get too kind. I want to make sure that we're still being trenchant. You know, ideally we get a cease and desist letter, and we've gotten plenty of those as well. That's so much more gratifying to me to get than a letter saying, we had so much fun reading about ourselves getting made fun of in The Onion. That sort of, I feel like, maybe we missed the mark on that one.
Are there any people or topics that you regularly go after?
Yeah, there have been a couple. This guy named George W. Bush.
Yeah, that guy.
Who seems like a really easy target. But sometimes you'll hit on an idea that's just like, I haven't really seen that particular thing said about him in the past. So we'll do that. So we go back to him a lot. Michael Bay, we hit him pretty well. And not because we don't like his movies, but just because we did a story about him once and he got really angry. He sent us a really angry letter, and we feel like, all right, maybe he needs to lighten up, so let's keep doing this, see what happens.
So people that take themselves very seriously.
Right. But certainly there have been times when, you know, people have taken it totally seriously. The Beijing Times once reran a story of ours verbatim.
Oh, come on.
It was about the Congress threatening to leave Washington if the city didn't build them a new stadium Capitol with a retractable dome and all this.
And somebody thought
the
this
Beijing
was...
Times ran that as a legitimate story, and when it was revealed to them that this came from a comedy newspaper, they simply didn't understand it. They were like, what kind of newspaper prints falsities? They just didn't understand it. You know, the formula that I developed at The Onion that I really believe in is that the dumbest humor has to be in the largest type, and the smartest humor has to be in the smallest type. I think a lot of people make the mistake of, I've got this really smart joke, but 3 people are going to get it, so I'll put it on the front page. No, you have to put the joke that everybody's going to get on the front page in the 20-point type. And if you want to do a smart, clever joke that 3 people are going to get, put it at the end of the story, because then that person is richly rewarded for having read the whole story.